It took 18 days to end 30 years of Hosni Mubarak's rule. Egyptians, inspired by events in Tunisia, took to the streets in unprecedented numbers, with one aim: to remove Mubarak. But the regime, which had crushed opposition and repressed its countrymen for so long, was not prepared to relinquish power. Mubarak unleashed his dreaded security forces. Fierce clashes between demonstrators and police followed. The army was deployed and a nationwide curfew declared. But the troops were welcomed and the curfew disobeyed. 3 days into the crisis, and Mubarak made his first public move. He sacked his cabinet, and in his first TV address, he told demonstrators he understood their grievances, but remained in power. The next day, Mubarak appointed his first vice president. Omar Suleiman is a former military man acceptable to the army and the West. It was seen as the start of a coronation, a transfer of Mubarak's power. But Mubarak's actions were confusing. Air Force jets circled Cairo, intimidation perhaps. But a day later, the army declared it would not fire on demonstrators. A new government was sworn in and dialogue opened with political parties. 8 days in, and the crisis showed no sign of easing. Mubarak made his second television address. The president said he would step down, but only in September. The next 48 hours saw brutal clashes between pro- and anti-Mubarak groups. The army watched but refused to intervene. February the 4th was dubbed the day of departure. The army had taken control of Tahrir Square and the crowds had returned. On February the 10th, the world was told to expect a significant statement from Mubarak. From Washington to London and across Egypt and the Arab world, this was interpreted as the end of Mubarak. The 82-year-old again addressed his country.
Protect the Constitution and the welfare of the people until the transition.
And again their hopes were dashed. The old fighter pilot was not prepared to bail out. Mubarak was sitting next to President Anwar Sadat when he was assassinated in 1981. Straddling the Arab and Western worlds, Mubarak made friends and enemies in both. He's credited by his allies with ruling Egypt through some of its most turbulent times, bringing stability to a volatile region. Mubarak has survived 6 assassination attempts, but where the sniper's bullet failed, the will of the masses has triumphed. This is the end of Mubarak, one of the country's longest-serving leaders, and the beginning of a new era for Egypt.